remember in our first or second conversations along the way, we've had a kind of a spirited discussion on resources that we put behind education in general. And in my opinion, education along with one's health care, we ought to be doing that as well as possible, not only through public but through the private arena as well. And post-secondary education now has the dubious distinction of being the place where costs are going up more per year than any other significant sector of our economy. Just eclipsed a few years ago the rate of increase in healthcare, which is a place since I've been here, wanted to reform and try to fix, because I think it's a broken system there in terms of what we do through the private sector and through government, because we've got the entity itself, the system, that doesn't deliver. Costs us in healthcare twice as much as what it does in other countries. So I think it's silly to pour more resources at anything that's not delivering outcomes that look like they're at least headed in the right direction. So do you think when it comes to the results, and let's look at post-secondary education. I'll come back to secondary in a moment. Do you think we've been getting a good bang for our buck?
There's always room for improvement, Senator, and I can assure you that the team that we're assembling recognizes the importance and the time and the moment that we have to make sure we're improving access and affordability. Again, I mentioned earlier, the American Family Plan provides opportunities for students to access community colleges for free. We know how important that is to give them an opportunity to join the workforce with skills that they need to be successful, and that the earning potential of graduates of community colleges can be up to 21% higher. We have work to do, and we're going to be aggressive to making sure that students are getting a good return on investment in post-secondary education, and we're addressing the issues that exist where students are being taken advantage of or sold a bill of goods and never delivered on. We're on that, and that's a priority for me.
So my observation before I got here is that you generally don't pour resources into something until you look at what you've got that you're trying to rebuild, re-energize, or make better. And a 41% increase over fiscal 21 levels is embedded in this budget proposal. And my observation from being on a school board for 10 years to wrestling with education at the state level as a state legislator, it's not about spending more money. It's really more about finding how we change the system. To me, it's analogous to healthcare. And as long as we here, since we live with no constraints, now added in the 2.5 years I've been here, nearly 10 trillion in national debt, need to be a little more entrepreneurial, a little more concerned about changing the paradigm. And here, I see most of this just pouring more resources into something that doesn't need to tell us any more clearly that it's not delivering the goods. Before I run out of time, let me pivot back to the same point would be made in secondary education. Before you get to college, college is run away with costs that even parents are really scratching their heads. Is it worth it to send my kid into a system that 50% of the kids that go there don't pursue it, and many get a misguided degree that employers don't have a market for? Why don't we try to get it better at the secondary level and match training and skills with the high demand, high wage jobs that all of us have out there? My state of Indiana, checked with my kids, I think we got 70, 80 job openings in our own company out of a total employment of 1,200. We don't need any more four-year degrees because the jobs that we have in a state like Indiana, where we ship out twice as many four-year degrees as we use in state, we need better skills that are being delivered out of high school. I look at a place like Garrett High School west of Fort Wayne that catches kids and obviously parents when they're fifth graders before they go to middle school. That is something that would cost no more money, but would change a dynamic of where we need to change our emphasis in how we do things. And until education does that, until healthcare does that, I really think we're just going to be borrowing more money and putting it down a dubious hole. I won't refer to the word that comes to mind. So, quick comment on that.
Thank you. I agree with you. If we do what we've done, we're going to get what we've gotten. So, you know, the plans discuss CTE changes. We really, if you recall in my hearing, one of my goals as Secretary of Education is to make sure we evolve our secondary schools to meet the demands of the workforce and the careers that are available today, as you mentioned, in your own community. So this is something that I'm eager to work with. Not only in the budget do we see that in there, and it's not just resources, it's a change in mindset. We're going to get there, and I look forward to working with you on that. I know the jobs plan has funds for that, families plan. I know the president gets it. It's in the budget. We're going to make it happen, and I look forward to working with you on that.
Thank you, and I'd invite you to take a road trip to Indiana and visit some of the places that are setting the trend on what we as employers need, which is a better elementary and especially secondary education before you start pushing kids into a broken system after that.
Look forward to working with you on that. Thank you.
Senator Reed.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairman.